Hello everyone and welcome to the new series of Python learning. So today I'm going to start a new series on data structures and algorithms, which are the two most important things to learn. In this course I will cover each and every topics of data structures and algorithms like stacks, linked list, trees, maps, hash tables, dynamic programming, shortest path, Kruskal's algorithm and many more. So kindly do subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any updates from the future. So let's get started. So today we will start with stack. So what is a stack? A stack is a collection of objects that are inserted and removed according to last in first out principle. So what is a stack? So it is a collection of objects which follows the principle last in first out. Let me just create one example to show you and explain you how a stack works. So let us suppose this as a container and let me call it as S. So it's a container named S and it has some vacant spaces where you can insert data in it. So we insert data from here, right? We insert data from here. Let's suppose we inserted 5 at first, then 3, then 10, then 1, then 2. So if I want to delete this 1 from here, then I can't just simply say that s dot remove. Please ignore my handwriting. Remove 1 like this. Okay, we can't do this because we used to use this method in array and not in stack, right? So what we will do is we will just simply at first remove this, right? We'll first remove this. Once we remove this, then only we can remove 10, right? And so on. Okay, so if you want to remove something, then we will just simply say that s dot pop. Okay, then what does this function does? It just simply removes the topmost element. Okay, so let me show you one more thing. Let's say this is 2 and the final topmost element is 10. So at first we inserted this 5, isn't it? So this is our first element and this 10 is our last element. So what a stack follows the principle philo. Okay, philo or LIFO. What does it mean? Philo means first in, last out. Okay, see, we inserted this 5 at first, but it will go out at last. And LIFO means last in, first out. We inserted this 10 at last, but it will get removed first. So that's everything that you need to learn what is stack. So let's see some example of stack. So where does we use stack? Internet web browser store the addresses of recently visited sites in a stack. Each time a user visits a new site, the site address is pushed. Okay, we push the site address onto the stack. So the browser then allows the user to pop back the previously visited site using the back button. Okay, so this is one example of stack. And the another example is the undo mechanism that works in anywhere. Okay, if we want to edit something, if you guided the edit, and then we can simply press Ctrl+Z to undo it. See, now suppose I underlined this, I highlighted this sentence at first, isn't it? So this is our first element, right? Then I highlighted this is our second, then this, then finally this sentence. So I highlighted this first and this at last. So when I press Ctrl plus Z, this will pop up first. See? And then this. And then this. And then finally this element will get popped up. So this is how a stack works. So a stack abstract data type. Okay. So stack supports the following two methods: s.push, which what does it does? It simply adds an element e to the stack. And what does s.pop does? It simply removes the element that is on the top and returns the element that has been removed. So if we say that s.pop here, if we say s.pop, then it will what? It will remove this element from here and then return us 10, saying that this element has been popped. Okay. So next, stack also supports other methods, say s.top, which simply returns the topmost element of the list of the stack, and s.empty returns true if the stack is empty, and len s returns the length of the stack. So okay, here is, you can say that it is a relation between Python list or Python array and stack. S.push just simply works as l.append. S.pop simply works as l.pop. S.top will simply work as l square bracket minus 1. It also, this l square bracket minus 1 returns the last element of the list, whereas s.top returns the topmost element of the stack. So now let's get started and let me show you the implementation of stack, how to implement a stack. So implementation of a stack using array. Okay, so at first we'll create a class, okay, and we'll call it as stack. Then inside this we will define a function in it. Define a function in it. Then here we will say self, isn't it? So then what we will do is we will say that self dot data equals to an empty list. Okay, then we will say we'll name a function push. Name a function push. So what it will do, it will simply take a value, say e, and it will push it inside our stack. So how do we do that? We'll simply say that self dot data dot append, just like we used to use append in list also. Similarly we will use this in stack also, to append a data in the stack, and here we will write e. The e is the data that we want to append inside our stack. Then we will call a function len. So what it will do, it will simply return us the length of the stack. So how can we, so that return len, then self dot data. That's it. It will return us the length of the stack. Then again we will say define is empty. What it will do, it will simply return as true if the stack is empty. Return, let me copy this and say that it's 0. So it will, let me write here, it will add an element e in the stack. Okay, and return this will returns the length of the stack, and this function will return returns true if stack is empty. Okay, so now that we have done these things, now it's time to pop the topmost element, isn't it? So how we will pop it? We'll simply say call a function, define a function, define pop, and we will give self in it. Then it will, first of all we need to check if the stack is empty or not. If len self dot, we can simply write here that if is empty, then what we will do, we will print stack is empty. Then what we will do is we will return. Okay, else what we will do, return self dot data dot pop. That's it. And also that's it. Then now another thing is define top. So what it will do, it will just, let me write over here, it will just returns the topmost element of the stack. Okay, and what it will do, it will pop the topmost element. Okay, so here we want return self dot data, then square bracket, then -1. All this we need to do to return the topmost element. So that's the implementation. Now we'll say, let us name the stack as s, then stack, then s dot push. It will add an element e inside our stack. Let's say I want to add 45, then let me copy this several times and I will paste it here. 5 4 145, and then let me say print s dot data. Okay, so it will just simply return me the data that are stored in our stack. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, so see, so at first we added 45, then we added 5, then we added 4, and then we added 145. Okay, so it's working nicely. Now let's see whether other function are working properly or not. Let's see as the top. Okay, then here I need to write print, or else we won't see whether it's showing correctly or not. Okay, so see, here it says that as the top is 145, and it's true, 145 is our topmost element because it has been added at last. Then another thing is, let me say that s dot pop. Okay, and let me run it. Okay, is empty is not defined. Okay, if is empty is not defined, why does it okay, here is self, we forgot to write self dot is empty. Okay, I forgot to write self dot is empty, and that's why. Okay, see, now what does it does, it simply removes 145 from the stack. Wait, let me do it once more. Let me copy this, copy and write it before popping. So at first our stack was this, right? This was our stack, and then we popped the topmost element. So 145 had been popped, and then now our new stack is this. So that's the implementation of stack using arrays. So in the next lesson we will learn how to implement a stack using deck, and then we will learn queues and everything. So if you like this video, do kindly subscribe to the channel and also like this video and share it to your friends. And if you have any problem understanding this video or understanding this lecture, then you can simply ask me. I will give my email in the description box. So thank you and have a nice day ahead. Hello everyone.